The sky is barely awake, a canvas of deep blues and purples, slowly giving way to the dawn. A hint of pink bleeds into the darkness, signaling the start of a new day. But here, at the Crossroads truck stop, the day is already roaring. Trucks line up, engines humming, drivers preparing for the long haul ahead. 18-wheelers rumble like steel dinosaurs, their sheer size and power a testament to the industry that keeps our world turning. Coffee brews strong enough to fuel a locomotive, a lifeline for the drivers who rely on it to stay alert and focused. This is the world of trucking, where time is money and the open road is a way of life. It's a demanding job, but one that comes with a sense of freedom and adventure. These men and women are the unsung heroes of our economy. They work tirelessly, often spending days or even weeks away from their families. They haul the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the medicine we need. Every item on store shelves has likely spent time in the back of a truck. They navigate treacherous mountain passes, braving the elements and challenging terrains to ensure timely deliveries, and endless stretches of highway, often driving through the night to meet tight deadlines. They do it all with grit, determination, and a whole lot of coffee. It's a tough life, but one they wouldn't trade for anything. But a storm is brewing. Dark clouds gather on the horizon, threatening to disrupt this vital industry. A new law, passed with the best of intentions, threatens to upend this vital industry. It's a law that aims to modernize, but at what cost? This isn't about stricter emissions standards or fuel efficiency. Those are challenges the industry has faced and adapted to over the years. This is about forcing a transition to electric trucks, a technology that's not ready for prime time. The infrastructure isn't there, and the costs are prohibitive. And the folks who'll feel it first? The hardworking men and women who keep America moving. They face uncertainty and fear for their livelihoods. The trucking industry is the backbone of our economy. As we look to the future, we must ensure that these essential workers are supported and that any changes made are both practical and sustainable. The goal is admirable: reduce our reliance on fossil fuels and combat climate change. The method, however, is misguided. The new law mandates a dramatic increase in the production of electric trucks. It sets ambitious targets for manufacturers, pushing them to phase out diesel engines and embrace electric power. On the surface, it sounds like progress. Who wouldn't want cleaner air and a greener planet? But the reality is far more complicated. This law is like demanding we all fly to the moon tomorrow, without building the rockets or training the astronauts. The technology for long-haul electric trucking simply isn't there yet. The batteries are too heavy, the range is too limited, and the charging infrastructure is practically non-existent. This isn't about tinkering around the edges. This is about a fundamental shift in an industry that's built on diesel engines. Imagine a trucker hauling a load of produce from California to New York. It's a journey that spans thousands of miles, crossing multiple states and varying terrains. With a diesel engine, it's a long haul, but it's doable. Diesel trucks have been the backbone of long-haul trucking for decades, providing reliability and efficiency. Refueling is quick and easy. Truck stops are plentiful, scattered across highways, making it convenient for truckers to refuel and get back on the road without significant delays. Now imagine that same trip in an electric truck. The landscape changes dramatically. The promise of cleaner energy and reduced emissions is enticing, but the reality is more complex. Suddenly, range anxiety becomes a very real concern. Unlike diesel trucks, electric trucks have limited range, and the fear of running out of battery in the middle of nowhere is daunting. The current generation of electric trucks can only travel a few hundred miles on a single charge. This limitation means that long-haul trips require meticulous planning and frequent stops. That means more frequent stops, longer charging times, and a whole lot of downtime. Each charging session can take hours, significantly extending the duration of the trip. And where are these charging stations? Unlike the ubiquitous diesel pumps, electric charging stations are few and far between, especially on long-haul routes. The truth is, they barely exist. The current infrastructure is woefully inadequate to support the needs of electric trucks on cross-country journeys. Building a nationwide network of charging stations capable of handling the demands of the trucking industry is a monumental task. It involves not just installing chargers, but also upgrading the electrical grid to handle the increased load. It requires massive investment, complex coordination, and years of construction. Governments, private companies, and stakeholders must work together to create a seamless network. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a logistical nightmare. Truckers face long waits, and the unpredictability of charging availability can disrupt delivery schedules. Think about this. Average fueling time for a diesel truck is 15 minutes. That's 4 trucks per hour, 48 trucks per 12 hours, and 96 trucks a day. An average truck stop can service per pump. Most have 9 pumps on average. Now imagine this, it takes 2 or 3 hours to charge a semi-truck. So 9 pumps won't be enough. They would need a charge station at every parking spot in the truck stop. You are looking at 50 spots for mid-sized truck stops. You would need 50 charge stations. Think of the cost of installing 50 charge stations. Now think of the drain 50 high-power charging stations would put on the grid of that area. Let's take this even further. Some grids has 4 truck stops. At 50 charge points per truck stop, that's 200. 200 times more drain on a grid that is not able to sustain that big of a drain. The current infrastructure simply cannot support a widespread shift to electric trucks. The gaps are too significant, and the existing network is far from ready to handle the volume. The only solution I see is still under research. That's quick charge panels in the pavement of our highways, and they would have to be quick charge or the trucks would have slowed down so much they may as well be stopped. They would have to have several panels in line on the highway, all over the country, within every couple of 100 miles of each other. While the idea sounds feasible, the grid is not ready to carry that either. That's what it always comes back to. What can the grid handle? And until it does, this law is setting the industry up for failure. Without a robust infrastructure, the transition to electric trucking remains a distant dream, fraught with challenges and uncertainties.
Talk to any trucker and they'll tell you diesel is in their blood. It's not just a fuel, it's a way of life. It's the rumble of the engine, the smell of exhaust, the feeling of raw power beneath their feet. The connection they have with their trucks is almost visceral. But it's more than just sentimentality. Diesel engines are reliable, powerful, and built for the long haul. They've been the backbone of the trucking industry for decades, proving their worth time and time again. From the early days of trucking to the modern era, diesel has been the go-to choice for truckers. Electric trucks, on the other hand, are unproven. They represent a new frontier, one that many truckers are hesitant to explore. Truckers are a practical bunch. They need equipment that's tough, dependable, and can handle the demands of the job. Right now, electric trucks don't inspire that kind of confidence. The technology is still in its infancy. The limited range is a major concern. Truckers need to know they can go the distance without worrying about running out of power. And then there's the issue of charging infrastructure. It's not as widespread or as reliable as diesel fueling stations. The limited range is a major concern. So is the weight of the batteries, which eats into cargo capacity. Truckers are also worried about the time it takes to charge these vehicles. Time is money in the trucking industry. Every minute spent charging is a minute not spent on the road, making deliveries. Then there's the issue of cost. Electric trucks are significantly more expensive than their diesel counterparts. For independent owner-operators already struggling with rising costs, it's simply not a viable option. The initial investment is steep, and the return on investment is uncertain. Until electric trucks can prove their reliability, affordability, and efficiency, many truckers will stick with what they know best: diesel.